Hey everybody, Stephanie here, and welcome to exploration number 7 for EDLD 7372 for spring 2022. In this exploration, that is number 7, is also exploration number 7 from Keri Smith's book, How to Be an Explorer of the World, and I chose to do World of Color. That the initial prompt is to collect paint chips and talk about the colors and respond to them. But after a mix up with my husband, I ended up having to do the alternate version where you document colors from your favorite books, dreams, and memories. And I'll get into that mix up in just a second. Okay, so I'm going to move this up here so we can see better. Cool. All right. So I made a slideshow. And if you don't know, there's this really handy add-on to Google Slides called Album to Slides, where you upload photos to your Google Photos. And then you can add this add-on where it puts one photo from that album into every slide. So it was super duper handy in doing this. And in previous explorations, if you don't know about it, I would be happy to share. So here is my slideshow. I put my books in order of the rainbow, and each book on these slides has a cover that I am in love with, that makes me happy, that I love to share, or that it just makes me happy because it's pretty. And this is one of them. This is The Stars Beneath Our Feet by David Barclay Moore, and I really love this cover because of the differences between the darkness at the top and the rainbow Legos on the bottom. So this is one of my favorite covers that is a rainbow. Let Me Hear a Rhyme is a collection of short stories by Tiffany Jackson. And again, this cover is really cool and it's got the rainbow colors. Next is Fish in a Tree by Linda Mullally Hunt, and I absolutely love this cover because of the colors that are the rainbow. And if you haven't read this book, it's really sweet. It's about a student with dyslexia and how she fits in her class, and her teacher makes her realize that she has dyslexia. And so it's about how a fish would not work in a tree. So it's about learning to accept your differences. And I love how the covers here also demonstrate that. The Poet X is a novel in verse by Elizabeth Acevedo, and this cover is another one that I love, the way the colors and the words and everything is mixing to form the just kind of everything that's happening with the girl. And I just noticed there's a bird in the cover. Warcross by Marie Lu is absolutely gorgeous. This is one of the early edition covers where it's a rainbow. I was actually really excited when this first came out. I got to have an advanced copy of the book, and it was gorgeous. In the later editions of this book, the cover is all silver, which I think was a mistake because the rainbow is just so pretty. Then Delicates, which is the sequel to Sheets. This is a graphic novel, and the cover is so cool, and I love how it's focusing. The camera is focusing on the ghost that it's seeing. If you haven't read this, spoiler, the ghost is the main character's mom, and she's encouraging the main character to continue caring for her family's laundromat. And I really love the colors in this because it makes you think about the person who's holding the camera as well as the person the camera is focusing on. All right, next is Lore Olympus. This is another graphic novel. This is actually a collection built off of a webtoon, and I love the contrast between the blue, the pink, and the red, and it's just really pretty. I actually have not gotten to read this one yet, but I am in love with the color. This picture actually doesn't do it any justice. This is Hide and Seeker. This is one of the Lone Star books. This is a really creepy horror book, and this is another one that I love. I already love that the person on the cover is a person of color. It's not just another white person on a cover, and she's like, she's hiding, but it's also got the monster that's doing the seeking during the hide and seek game. I just keep getting interrupted today. Anyway, love this color, and this one cover is red and blue. All right, my next one, this is a really cool cover, and again, these pictures don't do it justice, but it's a really neat mixture of purples and pinks and oranges and red and blues. It represents the magic that happens in this book. Monday's Not Coming, the cover is exactly what it looks like here. It's just red, and it really shows the horror that is this book. It's about a girl whose best friend goes missing, and it's meant to demonstrate how So many African American children go missing every day, especially girls, and no one pays attention or goes looking for them. And so this book talks about how that happens and what happens and how Monday has a really, really bad ending. But this is also one of my all-time favorite covers. Another red cover is Wayward Witch by Zoraya Cordova. And this is a part of a series called the Brooklyn Brujas. And each cover is a different color and represents a different sister. This is another one of my favorite covers. This is Little White Lies. A bunch of these do not, again, they don't show how beautiful they are in the light, but this is a really cool cover because of its a collection of flowers and how the petals are just being disintegrated at the top. And I think it's really cool. And this is pink from the rainbow. Then I have Spin, which I love the pink and the purple on the cover. And again, a person of color on the cover. There's Someone Inside Your House is another pink and purple cover that I love the way it goes from black to pink and purple, or if you're thinking left to right, pink and purple to black. This one also shows the creepiness of this book. There's a lot of pink and purple that I've seen in covers in the past few years, and I love how they're mixing and they're bringing these bright covers to life, because this one is also one of my favorites. And in this one, the pink and purple is representing the sky for When Stars Are Scattered. Let's Make Ramen is my orange book because the cover is a bunch of yellows and oranges and browns and really cool colors that I think also represent the ramen that is told about in this book. So this one's got recipes, how to make ramen, and the history of ramen. Another Tiffany Jackson book. This is my yellow or gold book. You can see again, she really likes to focus on one thing in the cover and then have that really bold background. This is another gold book for me. This is My Life as an Ice Cream Sandwich, and it's another girl sitting on a rooftop, person of color, and she's staring off into the sunset. Can y'all tell I really like sun things on covers? Here's another gold. I love this gold on this cover, but I wish you could tell the gold is actually metallic. So when the students or anybody hold this book in the light, it kind of reflects and it's really pretty. My blue book is Last of Her Name. This is an Anastasia retelling, and I love the way the blue is reflecting rainbows off of the crystals on this cover. And then the blue for Leia on the Offbeats cover is like a teal, and it's gorgeous. This is Sharon Draper's Out of My Heart. So I put both the cover from Goodreads and a picture of the cover so you can kind of tell the difference, because again, photos don't do these covers justice, and I love the contrast of the different blues here. The Last Cuentista, I also love this cover because of the blue and the way it's mixing with the orange and the red, and it's really showing the magic that's happening in the book. Another really creepy blue is The Girl I Used to Be by April Henry. I love how it's showing she's like drowning and the water is covering her, but it's also the water for the blue. Then Atlantia by Ali Condi is one of my green books. I love these books that are really bold covers that just have a single focal point. Then Veronica Roth, The End and Other Beginnings. I love this teal. It is just so pretty to me. Long Distance is a graphic novel, and I chose this for my green. I wish you could tell better, but the green is like a lime green, so I added a lime green jello down here to kind of show how that green is just really bright and pretty on this cover. And another one that has a little bit of green on the cover, and I wish there were more green covers that do these bright like neons. And Scary Stories for Young Foxes, the green is really bright and eye-catching, and I see a lot of students go for this one because of the green. This is one that I'm surprised doesn't get checked out more. This is The Gilded Wolves by Roshni Shakshi, and the leaves are the focal point of the cover. They're really pretty and bright and green, and I'm surprised this doesn't get checked out more, but it is a little higher reading comprehension than my middle school students, I think, could grasp. The First Rule of Punk is another really cool green cover. Unfortunately, my 2 copies in my library are really faded, so the green isn't as bright as it used to be, but again, it's another really pretty like lime green, jello green color. Oh, Finale by Stephanie Garber is my purple cover because it's so pretty. And this is another one that has gold foil, that gold heart in it. The contrast is really pretty, but you can also feel it when you touch the cover. And I had to add Donatello because he's the purple Ninja Turtle, and I think he's really cool. But this is another cover that makes me really happy because the purple is just so, so pretty. And now we're getting to my browns. So this cover isn't really brown, but it's a mixture of pinks and browns and like sand colors because it takes place on the sand planet in Star Wars. And this is really cool. I love this cover because of all the different like tones of the colors that are happening. Wolf by Wolf is another really cool book. This is not quite a retelling, but an alternate history of if the Nazis had won the war and if there were shapeshifters. And this is about a girl who's a shapeshifter and her goal is to kill Hitler. And it's really cool. But I love the background more than anything because it's a map and it's how the world would have been changed had the Nazis won the war. And then it also has the red that represents the blood. So I love this cover. Lee Bardugo's Six of Crows is my gray because it's that crow's wing on the top with the clouds. And I just noticed that in the bottom feathers, these are like the house that they live in that just like piles on top of itself. It's kind of like the Weasleys from Harry Potter. And that's it. Those are all of my covers for my activity or for my exploration, sorry. And how they all make me think of different things. And I just love all these covers. And it really makes me want to study book covers. And so to answer one of the questions, I did some research in Engine Orange and I just put in like book cover and colors or book cover art and things. And I found some really neat articles about how book covers are designed and how people judge books based on covers. And then I found this really neat one about interrogating cultural anthropology text covers. So it's studying how covers are thought about based on their colors. All right, so now for the reflection. What I chose this reflection, I originally wanted to do the paint chips version, but so funny, I sent my husband to Home Depot to get me paint chips and told him to get me a rainbow. Just get me some of everything, and then I would pick and choose what I wanted for the exploration. Well, I also sent him a photo of our book, and our book has black and white, and so he matched those. And so this picture are the paint chips that he brought me, and I thought, that's not going to work. So my alternate version is I decided to share book covers that I really like that I respond to because based on the colors and that we just talked about. My area of research at this time is social media and librarians' professional development. So colors and covers might not work with that, but it did give me another someday research idea that I've talked about in past explorations. So this would be another research idea that I might want to do about how people choose books based on their covers or how the colors of the covers affect people's book choosing. And then here's some more. Here's another screen grab from Engine Orange about color studies. This exploration made me think about how I pick books based on covers, how I judge books by their cover, even though you're not supposed to. It was really fun. It made me walk through my library and think about how I choose books again, but it also made me think about how I display books, and I'll get to that in another question. But it also just made me really happy to go find books that I know I love. It also made me really happy made me think about one of my favorite parts of my job, which is sharing books. And this week is National School Library Week, if you didn't already know. And it was a tough week for a lot of librarians. So it made me really happy to think about one of my favorite things. This exploration also made me think about how do book covers influence how readers choose their books? And it made me think about how my students choose their books when they come for checkout. And I noticed that a lot of the books that I set out on top of the shelves on little easels get checked out a lot quicker and more often than books that are actually in the shelves. And so I thought that would be an interesting thing to research as well. And finally, this is going to help me think, live, be differently in the world by changing how I think about and create book displays. So that is my exploration number 7. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.